Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this LG Gram. Let's see, model is 17Z90N. Alright. The exact model is 17Z90N-R.AAC8U1. Right, so it has these little rubber things all covering screws. These can be quite a bit of a pain to remove. I'm going to use a very small flathead screwdriver to do this. Okay, most likely the case is going to get some small marks there, but I don't know of another way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it in the little gap there, and then I'm going to push it against the rubber piece as I kind of pull up, and there we go. This one actually came out pretty clean, and you can actually see where the screw circle was. I'm going to keep all these pieces in order. I'm going to put them basically flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them along with the screws. Okay. And also, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Okay. So as you can see, I'm trying to keep all the pressure into the rubber pieces themselves so that way I don't accidentally like make little marks into the plastic. This one is like hard plastic, like these little circles, so it's kind of going to be difficult, but let's see what we can do. Okay, similar thing, and there we go. The plastic does get a little bit bent a tiny bit, but not really too noticeable on the little circle pieces. Okay. Alright, this one's going to be tough. Doesn't want to come up, so it's probably going to get marked a bit. But there we go. Alright. And we're just going to set all these little circle thingies aside. There's quite a few of them. Alright. This one doesn't seem to want to come up. There we go. Alright, and there's hidden screws underneath each one of these, so we've got to make sure to get them all out. Okay, just like this. Alright, we've got two more rubber pieces and then the ones on the bottom. Okay, so or the two in the middle bottom part. This one's being kind of a pain. Come on. There we go. Flipped it upside down. Okay, last two pieces. Alright, so this one the customer is having issues where the processor is kind of running really hot, so we're going to see if the fan is having some problems or if it's more like dust buildup or whatnot. We'll very likely have to redo the thermal paste as well. Okay, so now that we got all those screws out, let's see, is it a JIS1 or JIS0? Okay, it looks like we're going to have to use a JIS0 screwdriver bit to remove all the screws. Okay, I'm going to zoom out here so you can just see the whole thing. Alright, and then we're going to get all these screws out, again, using a JIS0 screwdriver. Alright, so let's undo all these screws here. Again, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. And if you mix them up, you can damage your computer, okay? Alright. So far, the screws look to be about the same, but it's always a good idea to keep them in order either way. Okay, so I'm going to put them all in this rectangular pattern. A lot of screws to hold this thing together. I'm getting a phone call. Oops. Okay, last two. Okay, give me a second. I gotta return that call and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. So let's go ahead and see about popping this cover off. We got all the screws out. Usually on most laptops, what I can do is I open up the screen here, and then I'll get my fingernails in the gap. Oh, it looks like the thing turned on its own, so let me make sure to shut it down. Okay, so usually what I'll do is I'll get in here, and with my fingernails in the gap, I'll push on the palm rest, not on the touchpad, just the palm rest area. Let's see if it pops out. Okay, and the bottom cover is popping out. Again, we're only pushing on the palm rest area. And here you can see this all popped out already. We're going to slowly, carefully close this back up. Okay, and now we kind of have this out. You might also be able to just use a suction cup with this because it doesn't seem the clips hold too strong. There are some clips holding here on the side, so I'm sliding my fingernail in there as I kind of do that. And the back ones are holding, so I'm going to hold the bottom down here with my hand, grab this, and let's see if we can wiggle this. And no, it's actually holding very strong. So let's go over here and then slide my fingernail in here and see if we can pop that. Let's see if flexing the cover works. Not really. Oh, okay, so that worked. I held it that way and kind of wiggled it like that, and it popped open. And we got this out. Whoa, what's with the coloring on the battery? This is what the bottom cover looks like. Kind of looks gross. There's quite a bit of dust built up in there. Okay, there was a piece of plastic that kind of was falling off there. And this fan is quite a bit dusty. Seems to spin okay for the most part. Not 100%, but not bad. You got the fan in here. Alright, sorry, the battery in here with the connector there. Keyboard connector here, stick of RAM that they covered, so I can't quite see what it is, but it's an 8 gig. I don't know if I want to, let's see here. 8 gig. This is a PC4. What model exactly? 3200AA. So it's PC4 3200AA. I don't want to peel that sticker completely off, but PC4 3200AA. Right, you got a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD right here. I don't know what's going on. It looks like they had a liquid spill in here, actually. If you look at that, there's like residue on here. So there's also some residue here. Looks like there's another slot here for another M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. It says slave. So there's a master slot and this is a slave slot, which is the secondary. Got a speaker connected right there. Alright, LCD LVDS connector right here. See, DC jack charge port is soldered here. Alright, same with all the other connectors. Got the other speaker connected right there. These kinds of connectors, you kind of grab this and you kind of just wiggle to pull it out. Wireless antenna, wireless card is here, soldered to this board. This whole board, I guess, is separate, so it's replaceable with the 2 USB ports and that. This looks to be like a fingerprint sensor board. And then obviously the wireless antennas there. If you want to remove them, you go from the tail and pop them up. Sometimes the antennas aren't too good, like soldering wise, so I don't want to lift them out unless I need to, so we're going to leave those alone. What we're going to do is we'll clean off the dust in here, and then we will take the fan out and take a closer look. But basically they're having issues where it's like running hot. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. And yes, I'm not removing the battery. You can remove it if you want, but I'm not removing it. I don't see a separate CMOS BIOS battery, so most likely the main battery is being used. That's the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. Okay, so we'll get these 3 screws out, and we're going to take a look at the fan. The fan, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's broken. There's not too much dust built up there. I'm gonna just grab this, kind of wiggle and pull that out. So yeah, I don't know, unless this liquid residue did something, but I don't see any on the motherboard itself. Okay, so I'm not too sure. All right, anyways, I'm gonna clean up some of the dust here and then I'll be back. So let me zoom out a bit. Okay, I'm gonna clean the dust off this. You can see there's a lot of dust in the blades, but it's not anywhere that bad. But I'll clean it up and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back and the fan's a lot cleaner now, as you can see. All right, not really much to do with it. It seems like it's okay. It spins fine. I might have to run some tests on it. I'm gonna have to ask the customer to send me their password so I can run some tests. But what I'm going to do is, I guess we'll just redo the thermal paste on these. It looks like they put stickers. Oh no, they don't. Why are these screws colored yellow? I thought they put like little clear stickers over it so they can tell that if you mess with it or something. But I guess not. All right, well, anyways, let's go ahead and remove the battery since we are going to be undoing the heatsink screws. It's a little bit risky since it's over the motherboard, so I'm gonna just take these out. Technically, you don't need to disconnect the battery, but it is gonna be a lot safer doing this, so let's go ahead and do that, okay? All right. Last one here. Okay, so 6 screws holding the battery down. You can see we can kind of lift this up now. To disconnect the battery, because there's nowhere to grab here, what I do is after removing all the screws, we're going to lift this up. I'm going to get underneath, kind of get my finger over there as close as I can to the connector as possible, and kind of wiggle it side to side like this as I pull, and there we go. There's the battery. Oops, it's like some dust all over it, so let's clean that. And here you can see they have the model number right there on the back of it, LBV7227E. All right, so if you need a new battery, that's the model number. We'll set that aside. Here you can see the touchpad, trackpad connector going there. And this board's super thin, so I don't think there's much to show underneath the motherboard, but I'm not going to take it out either way. I'm not going to take it out. All right. So yeah, safest thing to do after disconnecting the battery, open up the laptop and then press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold it a few more seconds. Okay, I think we should be good. Let's go ahead and close this back up, and then let's go ahead and look into removing the heatsink here. So it looks like just 4 screws. Pretty simple and straightforward. Let's go ahead and remove those. There seems to be a lot of paste here that's kind of overflowing out over the sides. Okay, so remove these 4 screws. Okay, once you remove those 4 screws, because of the paste, you can't just like rip this thing out. If you try, you're probably going to end up bending the heat pipe here. So what I usually do for this kind of thing is we'll kind of like rotate it. So you can see I'll push here, twist it and wiggle it, and then we should be able to eventually lift it up. So I'm pulling up slightly as I wiggle it, and there we go. Oh, this paste is disgusting. I don't know why they put so much that it's all over here. I'm not supposed to put that much paste. So I'm going to wipe all this stuff off, and then we will apply some new paste and see if that helps. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way first. I'm going to go over here, basically just get a piece of paper towel. I just tore a piece up, and I'm going to wipe this off. And I need to actually do this over a trash can because I don't want all this paste all over my desk. So let me wipe that all off. I'll also wipe off the paste from here, basically holding the laptop upside down over a trash can while I wipe it so any stuff falls into that trash can. And I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. Alright, so I'm back. You can see this is all clean now. I don't know why they put thermal paste all over the side there. That is really weird. All right, here you can see the heat sinks all cleaned up. We do need to clean it a little bit more though with some isopropyl rubbing alcohol, because right now it's just wiped off with paper towel. So I'm just going to get some 91% rubbing alcohol, get it on the paper here. Okay, and we're just going to clean off the CPU dies here. I guess we can clean off all of it since they had paste all over everywhere. All right, but our main focus is that. You can see there's still some gray stuff that came off, and then we'll just dry that up. Now they're all shiny. Blow off any lint there. We'll do the same thing with the heatsink here. All right, just clean it off with some isopropyl alcohol. Make sure that you keep something behind it as you clean it, because you don't want to accidentally bend this thing. Okay, man, look at all that. Okay, so we're gonna fold over to a cleaner side. We'll continue wiping this a little bit better. All right, dry it up. There we go. Okay, so we got the heatsink all cleaned up, ready to go. We're gonna add some new thermal paste here, put that back on, and hopefully that should be good. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see the thermal paste application. All right, so basically we just get some thermal paste here, and we just put a dot in the center. You don't need a crazy amount because it squeezes it pretty thin. All right, that's actually already more than enough here. Oops, picked it back up. I might have to put a little more now. Okay, maybe I'll put a little more. That's actually quite a lot. Okay, so some people like to do the method where they kind of smear it all out and everything. I prefer the dot method. I don't know if there's really that much of a difference. Well, in the square shaped die, and then on this one usually I'll just do a line, so like this. And again, this stuff spreads out super thin, so I actually put more than necessary, but it's okay. You don't want to be like way excessive to where it was like going all the way out all the way over here. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how they ended up putting that much, but I'm gonna put it like that, and then it should just smear itself out into the flat shape. All right, and you don't want to pull this up after you do it. If you want to like kind of experiment to see how much paste covers, you can kind of do that. Give it like 10 minutes for it to mush out, especially since it's cold, and then you can pull it back up, but then keep in mind you are going to have to do it again. But if you're not sure how much paste to apply and you have a lot of excess, you can go ahead and do that just to experiment and see how it spreads. But oops, there you go. That's basically what we got. All right, then we're just going to put this thing back on top. They don't put numbers on this one, but basically you want to go like at diagonal. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that with the screws. Okay, so we're just going to slowly lower that down. And then what I like to do is I'll loosely fit the screw first. So one right there. We'll get another one here. 1, 2. Okay. Over here. Twist it backwards here to click, and then 1, 2. All right. And this one. Twist it backwards here to click. 1, 2. Okay. And then now you can see it's kind of like wobbly, so the alignment is going to be a little weird. So because of that, I am going to actually put the fan in first. If you're replacing the fan, make sure that you put it the right way. The way it was originally, the red wires going out this way, and then the yellow wires going out towards the RAM and the CPU. Okay, so yeah, unless it somehow twisted itself around, but so make sure you get it in the right way. Okay, that should be right. And then pinch that in. We're going to get these screws in. Okay, so three screws for the fan. I'm going to loosely fit them first, and then we'll get this last one in. Okay, and I'll push on the bottom to slightly align it up towards the heatsink. Okay, get all these screws in. Good. All right, and then you can see this can kind of move, so I'm actually going to push it a little bit towards the fan, and then we'll go here. 1, 2, 3, go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, next one. 1, 2, 3, and I guess that's tightened all the way, so tighten it all the way down. Tighten this all the way down. Okay, tighten this one all the way down. And tighten the last one all the way down. And that's pretty much it. We gotta put the battery back in and then run some tests. So I'm gonna have to ask the customer for their password so I can do a CPU test to see if it runs hot still. It was hitting like 90 degrees Celsius. So yeah, all right, we're gonna pinch this together. There we go, to get that connector in. Line up the screw mounts, and then we'll just tighten all these screws down. And yeah, then we just get the bottom cover back on, put all the little covers over the screw mounts back in, and that's all there is to it. So again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Again, every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. The links and ways to do that are in the description of the video below. Alright, so we got all these screws for the battery back in. We do have to put the bottom cover back on. Oops, I didn't dust this out. Let me do that real quick and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. Clean that out a bit. Alright, and we're just going to get this back on. So, if you look at this, there are some clips down here that will hold on to these. And then on the top, don't really see much. Okay, so we're gonna start with the bottom here. Kind of make sure that's clipped in, and then work our way up the sides and just click everything in. Alright, at this point we can get I'm gonna get these two corner screws in to help with the hinges, and then we're gonna see if we power it on. Usually when I put the little rubber covers and stuff back on, I try and get the little circles to go back to match up with the little screw holes again, so that way it creates the same mark and doesn't make circles all over the adhesive. Anyways, now that we got those screws in, let's go ahead and turn it back on. What is this junk that's on it? Okay, this thing's all gross. Alright, let's open it up, power it up, power light's on. It might take a little while to boot because, again, the battery acts as a CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. So, most likely it's going to power itself on multiple times. The power light did go off and it went back on. Let's see. It's off again. Hopefully it's just doing a BIOS reset and not something else going on. Sometimes it could be the RAM either got some dust on it or it wasn't pushed back in all the way completely since we did take it out. So let's see. Okay, now turn on and turn off real quick, then turn back on. Come on. Turned off again. Turn back on. Is that the BIOS reloading itself? I know it was on earlier when I first got it, so... Come on. Light's staying on. So this is how long you'll probably have to expect to wait if it is a CMOS BIOS thing that it's doing. It's still not on completely. Nothing's on the screen, but the power light is staying on. Interesting. What is it doing? Come on. Why is there nothing on the screen? Huh. I'm scared to like force it off and force it back and then turn it back on. It might be in the middle of doing something with the BIOS. Sometimes also it could be that it wants me to plug it in. So I don't know, but the screen is staying black right now. I don't know. This is scaring me. I'm going to get the plug, and I'm going to plug that in real quick. Power light is still on, but nothing is on the screen. Okay. Usually if it's a CMOS BIOS reset thing, I would have thought it would turn on by now, but there's still nothing on. So we'll plug in the charger right there. And I'll give it a little bit longer just to be safe. Nothing's happening. All right, let's shut it off and then turn it back on. So I'm going to hold the power button. Okay, it turned off. Let's turn it back on again. Still nothing on the screen. All right, let's check the RAM then. I have a feeling it's that, but that's weird because normally if the RAM is having problems, actually the screen was on. Oops. The screen was lit up. When I shut it off, I saw the screen shut off. And now it's actually off again. So I don't know what's going on because the power light's on. Okay, let's check the RAM. Oh, actually it's lighting up. The screen is lighting up, but nothing is on it. It's just lighting up black. Hello? Wake up, computer. Do something. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, it just shut itself back off. So maybe it's still in the middle of doing a BIOS update? I don't know. The light's not coming back on its own anymore. So... okay. Well, let's go ahead and check the RAM since it turned off and it's staying off. Close that back up. Get the screw back out. Okay, we're just getting these two out. Let's go ahead and pop this back open. Okay. And then work my way up the edge. Again, work my way up the edge. Then grab here, and then same thing. Let's kind of wiggle and pull. Pull and wiggle. Wow, this one actually holds. Yeah, I guess I had to pull, like get closer here to pull it up. And then, all right, so we're gonna do this. Pop the RAM out. Oh, there's actually some gross stuff on that RAM. You see that little pin? So I'm just gonna wipe it this way. A lot of people get annoyed when I do that, but let's see. Oh, that stuff won't even come off. What is that? Okay, I'm gonna use some rubbing alcohol, I guess, with some paper towel because for some reason that whatever that thing is stuck on the stick of RAM. Just gonna get a little bit of rubbing alcohol here, and we're gonna wipe the pins. Okay. It's not coming off completely. If you're doing this, make sure that you are keeping yourself grounded so you don't get static into it. But there we go. One pin of the RAM doesn't look good. I don't know what's going on there. Let's clean this up. Okay, and let's get this stick of RAM back in. Go at an angle, push it in, click it down. Let's actually see if it turns on without, we don't have to put the cover back on completely. Push the power button. I see the keyboard lighting. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I guess it was the stick of RAM. So here you can see the fan. It's not doing anything yet. You see here. It's just slightly warm, so Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to ask the customer for their password so I can log in and then run some tests on it. It did log in, it did sign up, I mean power on properly now. So yeah, we're gonna close this up. And then we're just gonna put it back together, and I guess that will be it, because it does turn on. So if for some reason, well, actually, I don't want to put it back together completely right now, because I do want to see if the fan spins okay once I get their password to run some tests. So it does seem to spin okay right now, so should be fine. It is getting warm. I have a feeling it's okay. I think probably the paste was bad, but we won't know until we test completely everything. The board looks, actually, there's some, okay, so I think, I don't know if you can see that. I just noticed you can actually see a trail of that liquid residue there. There's some little bit of corrosion on that there. So let me try and scrub that junk off. Came off very easily. But there's still some gunk there. I don't know. Is there anything else on the board? So it might be that the heat issue isn't due to a cooling issue. It might be something is shorted somewhere, but I'm not seeing anything else. There's some kind of liquid residue on this as well if you look at it in certain angles. So I don't know. Other than that one portion I saw, I don't see anything crazy. So yeah, only thing left to do is basically, yeah, I think the fan is fine. So we'll just put it back together and we'll get the information to log in and run some tests. But I think that's pretty much it. So let's get this thing back together. And yeah, other than that, not really much else to look at or talk about here. Let's get all these screws back in, clip everything together, and we should be good to go. All right. So again, I already said this several times, but if this video helped you out, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. Write a comment, and if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps, and again, it does allow me to continue making these videos for a living. So yeah, other than that, not really much else. Just get all the screws back in, put these little rubber feet and everything back into place. Okay, again, I try and line up where I see where the screw mount was before, and then I try and keep it in the same spot. All right. Other than that, not much to it. Let's get all these screws in and all those little rubber covers and plastic, well, plastic covers and rubber feet. Alright, got all the screws in. Just get these little covers back in. This one. Is there water on there? What is that? Why is there water on this rubber foot? Interesting. All right. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.